welcome back to my 7 days of Halloween series. This is day number 7, the last day.
Ooh.
I know. And I'm joined by Mr. Ian.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening.
Put your hand in and wave. There you go.
It's not got, oh, it's got paint on it.
It's decorating back bedroom. Because it's the last day, I normally do, throughout the 7 days of Halloween series, I normally do a set of, or batch make a set of Halloween kind of thank you cards. Haven't done it so far, because I've been busy making other stuff, like those.
Cool, I like those.
And him. So, the last day, so I may as well get some Halloween cards in. So, I'm just going to do a quick set of, say, 6 Halloween cards.
Yeah.
All kind of based on the same theme, so it's kind of batch make.
Yeah.
Using a couple of images from my collection.
Yeah.
Namely this lovely skeleton that's just risen out of its tomb. I'm going to use a stamp from Indigo Blue, skullduggery borders, predominantly that fantastic cobweb there.
Very nice.
I've created, actually I think I created these last year, inserts to go inside the card. The cards are going to be A6 in size, which is a quarter of A4. If you're in the States and you want to make something similar, then you would do a quarter of your 8.5 by 11.
Yeah.
So half your 8.5 by 11 to make your card base.
Got it.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, I've printed off, I did a sheet of a couple, and I ended up cutting out more than I need. Just in case, probably that I need more cards doing later on.
Yes.
So they're already cut out and ready to go. The inserts, there's enough to do 6 to start off with, but because this is one that I've had in my set for ages,
Yeah.
just ready to print out as and when I need them, I can do more later on. So, card base, I'll just quickly show, that's the stamp that we're going to be using from the skullduggery set. I've also got some little mini tags that I've created for the front of the cards, but I've just created those on my computer, just a square, literally, with the corners taken off. You could just cut a square of card and just snip off with your scissors. Don't have to be really complicated. So there's burlap dust everywhere.
Oh dear.
I know. I've got some small pieces of burlap that I've cut. Now these are pages from my Dina Wakley multi-surface media journal.
Well, that I bought you.
Yeah, I can't work with the burlap.
No.
It's really difficult to work with the burlap, so I've cut it out.
Fair enough.
And I've cut it up into some smaller strips to use as backing and mounts for the cards that I'm going to make.
Well, you're getting the use out of it, aren't you?
Well, exactly. It's not going to waste.
No.
And as you can see, there are some little...
Are they real?
No, they're just little toy plastic
Spiders.
And this.
Oh.
One of your favourite tools,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes, it is.
This is an edge scruffer.
Very
So you
clever.
put the edge of your card in and rub it, and it scruffs up the edges
Yes.
without you cutting yourself.
Yeah.
So,
Good for me.
yeah, it is for you, because if you can cut yourself, you will cut yourself, yes. So I'm going to make 6 side fold cards, so bog standard opening cards. That's if the blade on my trimmer hasn't given up the ghost.
Oh.
With it being Halloween.
Halloween.
So half of our A4 is about there. Cutting that okay. And then half of that is about there. If you're doing them from your 8.5 by 11, so this is where I keep my stash.
Ah.
So that I don't lose them, they're always kept there. Right, so your 8.5 by 11 is going to be 4.25 by 5.5.
Yeah.
That's going to be the card front size, so whatever that is. If you do a top fold, obviously you do it that way. If you do a side fold, you do it that way.
Yeah.
A4, it's going to be 105mm by 148.5.
That's European and Australia.
Yes. In inches, that's 4 1/8 and 5 7/8.
Well, that's a lot of eighths.
It is. It's far too complicated for me.
On me.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do, just put a crease down the middle of one and then fold it. And there's our card base.
Cool.
Can't say fairer than that,
You
can we?
can't.
So I'm I'll just quickly do that one as well.
I'll just commit the crease to it.
Yeah. Oh, listen to you.
You had me auditioning the other day, didn't you?
I know I did. Auditioning and committing creases. Committing the creases is from our friend Susie, though.
Yeah.
When we used to do TV shopping, we used to
Say, commit the crease.
we used to bet her how many times you could get it into one conversation, didn't we?
did.
Okay, so do the same thing again at that one. So 1 4 8 and a half, and then crease again at 105 or 4 and. I was going to cut it then. You see
Well,
that?
I did that, yeah.
nearly.
Really?
Do you want to fold that one?
Yes, we'll do.
Just to make it, so you're not just sat there looking pretty.
Oh, how kind. The sun's come back out again, which
Has
is
it?
nice, yeah.
Considering it's Halloween.
Just been out with Mr. Bentley, haven't you?
You have taken him up for a really long WLK. It's currently laying on the landing carpet because the back bedroom is off limits at the moment because we have wet paint in there. Because we've started to decorate. So how many is that so far?
This is 5,
So this is the last card
2,
base.
4, 5, 6. Yeah, number 6 is
There
there.
you go. Okay, we'll need that again in a moment. Right, so this is where I'm going to need those pieces of card back again. Right, for my background, I have finally plucked up courage to actually use the Tim Holt Ideology abandoned papers from last year.
I love those.
When I say I've plucked up courage, I normally buy these packs and then I don't want to use them
No.
because when they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it?
It is. So I've decided that I've had them now. I bought these in 2019
So you've had them a year.
and he's brought out new ones which I've
Yeah.
updated on now, so these have gone.
Just need to move it on then,
We do need to move on. So I've actually got 3 sheets from that set. Not my favourite colour,
I love that.
but I chose that because it's got purple in it, because purple is your favourite colour.
It is, I love purple.
I love the green and the rusty
I
colour,
like that.
and I like the greeny colours in that,
Yeah.
the slime green colours
We
in
looked
that
at
too.
some wallpaper like that yesterday.
Did, yeah, but it wasn't as distressed as
No,
that,
it
was
wasn't. No.
Okay, so I'm going to need to cut 6 fronts for the cards. So I'm going to do 2 from each.
Yes.
Yeah, and the size I'm going to cut them at is going to be 101 by 144, which gives me just a few millimetres border all the way around. If you were doing it for American size, you just need to bring it in by about 1/8 of an inch.
Yes.
From the outside.
And I scruffing these then.
You are going to scruffer these.
Gosh.
Yes, but because I'm making European sized ones, I'm going to cut these at 101, like that. Actually, I could just cut that at, what did I say that was going to be, 144.
Yeah.
If I cut the bottom off there first, throw that to one side, and then I can just cut this.
Yes.
2 at 101 then, you see, and there's my 2 mats, matting and layering, and it's almost there, look. Because these are 8x8s, you're pretty much
there with it, aren't
I
you?
mean, look at that. That's just that's just ridiculous. Having to cut that amount of paper on to get it to fit. Right, those are those 2.
Right.
Okay, make sure you don't get those sides
No, I don't want those
because
sides.
they just look horrible. Don't like those at all. Love that side though. Edge scruffer.
Yes.
So what you're going to do
Yeah.
is you're just going to pop the edge of the paper in and then just rough it up a little bit.
And we don't mind if it splits, so that's what it's going to do.
We don't mind if it splits at all, even if you get a little bit of a tear in it.
We
Just
roll it back then, don't we?
We do. So, scruff, 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 do round all 4 sides, s'il vous
I
plaît.
should work over the bin.
That's a good idea because you do tend to get snow.
Yes, I noticed.
So you do that while I carry on cutting these 2, and then I might actually put you on fast forward, or I might just jump. Who knows? I like the purple, so I'm going to cut it from the top. Okay, so Ian's still scruffing away merrily.
One to a frazzle.
Slight change of plan. I just tried the indigo blue skullduggery border cobweb stamp with my white pigment ink. This is a Dovecraft premium pigment ink pad. Now this has normally worked in the past on surfaces really, really well. I've just done it on that, and you can barely see it.
It's rubbish.
Now I think that's probably because of the coating on the Tim Holtz paper.
Could be, yeah.
It's just not taking. When I've used that pigment ink before, it's been really nice and crisp. But I think it's the coating, so we can't use it. So I'm afraid, sorry, Skullduggery border stamp has got to go.
Could we not do it in some dark brown? Put in soil?
You
or?
could, but the thing is, you've got dark backgrounds.
Oh, yes, that's true.
And it's not going to show up. That's why I wanted to do it in the white.
Okay.
The only other way you could do it is if we did it in white embossing powder. Now, do we want to do that? Have we got time?
It's up to you.
Shall we?
Well, they've got all the time in the world.
Let's do it in white embossing powder.
Okay.
Okay, so while I go and get the embossing powder and the embossing ink and accoutrement, Ian has just kindly offered to put eyelets using the crocodile into each one of those for me. So you can put them in without having to cut them individually.
Yes.
Right, so just pop them all in
Yeah.
en masse,
Yeah.
and then we'll cut them
Yeah.
when we need them.
The dog's scratching the dog, so he wants to get in the back bedroom.
He is, but he's not going in there.
No,
is
he's
he?
not. Come
okay,
on.
so if you can be doing those, Ian,
We'll do, Mr.
popping
Mike.
those eyelets in,
Yeah.
and then I'll go away and find all the embossing powder.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I found an eyelet. Is that yours?
I think so.
Okay, so we're back. I've got some scratch paper. I've got my embossing powder white. This is Ranger embossing powder. Not holding up much hope for this. And Versamark ink. So I'm just going to ink up sticky. I'm going to do this freehand. I'm not going to get the stamp press out or anything like that. Let's just do this freehand, shall we? Now, just before we do that, right, just make sure it's not tacky or anything. And I'm going to go across the top like so. Push down, lift off, and hopefully that's now added embossing powder.
I haven't done this for ages.
Use embossing powder.
Yeah.
I used it recently. There you go, you see.
Oh, clever.
Well, cleverish. I used clear embossing powder recently when I did the covered the spider web on the front of my mini book of shadows.
Oh, you did.
Instead of using glossy accents,
Yes.
I used embossing powder. Okay, so let's just get it warm first, because I discovered that these brown craft mats, although they're heat proof and waterproof and everything else proof, the heat does transfer through them, and if you've got a cutting mat underneath it, it affects the cutting mat beneath it.
Look at that.
Yay,
Yes.
perfectamundo. Okay, so not a huge fan of the Ranger embossing powder.
How come?
To me, it's never. It doesn't really. You don't get the same kind of results. It's supposed to be ultra fine.
It's pretty darn good to me. That looks really, really good, Mike.
Okay, right. If you're happy with that,
I'm very happy with
okay.
that.
What I need to do then is I need to do that on all the other 5
Right.
because.
Oh, look.
Yep.
That's very
So
nice.
let's do it on this Burple one over here. Why do we call it Burple?
That's the colour of hiccups.
There you go. If buttercups are yellow, what colour are hiccups?
Burple. Ba-bum, thank you very much.
Yes, I think we have told that joke before, you know.
Hey, the old ones are the best.
This is true. Thank God. Down again. And oft. Yep,
Yep.
I can just see a bit of a shine. So,
It's a strange shaped stamping
platform.
platform you've used.
It's Diane Reevely's
Is it a wavy thing?
journaling block.
Yes.
but it's also perfect for big stamps.
Should I pass you the next one?
No, because I've got to put this back in again.
Can you not do them all in order? Is it best just to...
Well, you need to tidy up after yourself.
Of course you do, yeah.
Otherwise,
it's everywhere.
Otherwise you'll end up with stuff everywhere, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so now that we've done the purple one, we've done that one on the green, so I'm going to have to do it on the other 4. So we'll do that, and then we'll come back when we've got all 6 done.
That looks really, really cool.
Yeah, and I'm trying not to burn my fingers.
Might be an idea.
Okay, so I don't know whether the camera actually picked up the transformation, the change from it going to powder to that kind of liquid embossingness.
They look lovely.
If it did, it did. If it didn't, it
I
didn't.
saw it.
And that's all that matters.
It is indeed.
So, okay, so we've got all 6 of our backgrounds, all with that lovely kind of spidery web on now. So what we need to do is to grab a piece of the burlap. We're going to start hiding it now, look. Shall we just not bother with the burlap now?
Why don't you put a burlap across the centre that way?
Because it's too big.
We have scissors.
You mean like that?
Yeah. I'll cut it for you.
I'm just going to trim a piece down just to see whether it'll work. So of course then you've got to
pick it apart.
That's it.
It looks like a little doll's house rug. There you are. Bit of texture there.
Alright then. If you want to use that as a template.
Okay. Scissors!
Skizzers. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm now going to start sticking these card fronts onto the bases.
Could I have the other burlap, please?
All the other sheeties.
Thank you.
There we go.
Thanking you.
So I want some glue. And I'm not going right the way to the edge because we want it just to stick up a little bit. Mr. Bentley's having a chew, if you're wondering what that wet kind of crunchy noise is in the background.
It's got a high chew and it's just,
it has.
It's just frightening it.
There we go. So that's the first front. So I'm going to do that with the rest, and then I will join with you again when Ian's finished cutting down those burlap panels. Ian's now finished cutting those pieces of burlap to his design. So what we need to do now...
Oh, that was poisonous.
What we need to do now is I also want the edges of all of the Skelebob images scruffing as well. Right. So we've got 6 of those to do, right, but also when they're done,
you want to distress them
with some distress inkiness.
Vintage.
Vintage photo would be wonderful. So, and it doesn't matter how rough you go with these. I'd rather you went over the top rather than under did.
Okay.
So really go to town on the scruffing up. If you haven't got one of these scruffing tools, you can use a pair of scissors, but be very, very careful. If you get the edge of your scissors and pull it towards you just gently, you can pretty much get the same effect, but it's just not as safe as using one of those. Ian asked me whether it's the same blade earlier. That's all the way around.
Because there's like different slots.
Yeah, that's just you've got different slots.
Right, okay.
Basically, once that one gets blunt, you can move on to the next one.
But you use them all at once, don't you?
Well, I pretty much do, yes. Yeah. But that's just me. And there's the snow you get when doing each one. So are you going to do the other 6? The other 5?
I will.
Tell you what, you do the other 5. and I'll distress this one
Okay.
with the distress photo. You're looking at me as if to say, where are all the other cards?
I am.
Why not give you them?
No. I wasn't going to say anything. I'm too well behaved.
And how much of that is not true?
Most of it. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay, so vintage photo, and we're just going to go around just to dirty it up a little bit. So we've got that nice kind of rough old edge to it, and I don't mind if you pull the colour in a bit further just to really get it a bit grungy. And also I'm going to just take a little bit of that vintage photo and we're just going to add a little bit onto the burlap.
Yeah, I'm going for that. I'm glad I'm doing these over the bin.
Could spritz this, but that's just unnecessary drying time if you ask me. Okay, so while we're doing this, you've seen me do the Skelebob, you've seen me do the burlap, so we'll go ahead and do the same thing again to each of the other 6 pieces of burlap, or 4 pieces, 5 pieces, whatever's left, and Skelebob cards, and we'll join with you when we've done, because there's no point you watching us do the same thing over and over and over again. And we're back after that marathon distressing session. I am covered in bits of burlap and bits of paper.
And I'm not, because I did it over the dustbin. Who's a clever ass?
Yes, indeed. Okay, so I'm going to change glues now. I'm going to go for Aileen's clear tacky glue, and yes, she does know before you ask. And I'm going to just put a dollop of that. I know, it's really kind of gelatinous.
No, it's Mr. Bentley.
Oh, right, yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Or are you apologising to the ladies and gentlemen?
I am, yeah.
Home?
Yeah, I am.
So we're going to do that, and then I'm going to get some of that glue that I think I could do with actually having the whole...
Ben has just found Teddy, you see.
And then some of that glue up there.
The hole's quite small, isn't it? On that?
It is. There we go. And then I'm going to flip that over, and we'll put that like so.
Can I put it under the book?
You can. Ian's going to put it under a heavy book to keep it flat, and we're going to do the same thing again.
Oxford Concise English Dictionary.
The Concise Oxford Dictionary.
Yes, that's the one.
Yes.
It has lots of heavy words in it.
It does. It's also got lots of pages missing because that's the one that I used to tear out.
Okay, fair enough. It's not as heavy as it once was.
No. So, again, glue.
Oops.
What?
You nearly put it on there.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, of course it doesn't.
I just don't know the positioning if I put it directly onto the card, so it's best to put it on the back of the burlap.
I'm going to open the whole out a bit with a pokey tool.
Yeah, you do that while I'm doing this then. So position, and then I'm going to do it at a little bit of a different angle. There we go.
Right, try that
So
now.
it's always the problem with glues.
Any better?
Yeah, it's just the fact that they tend, depending on how you store them, they tend to either all run down to the bottom. So you're supposed to store this one upside down so it always stays towards the top.
Alright.
But that's not necessarily how it always works. Again, push down. Looking good.
I'm scared.
And again. So, just... That was supposed to have been attached.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
It's alright, I haven't just decapitated Ian, you're alright.
My eye out, I had my glasses on and it was sharp.
Okay, so again, just at a little bit of a quirky angle. Jaunty angle, yeah. And then plenty of glue. Right, so I'll carry on and do the remaining cards in exactly the same way. And then when we've got all of those stuck down, I'll be back. We'll be back.
We'll be back.
So while those cards are being pressed, now we've got all the burlap and the main images on, I'm just going to snip these 6 little mini tags out. I've left just enough gap between them.
Are we going to distress them?
I think so. But I want to just nip off all the bits first.
Of course.
Okay, so we'll start with that one, and then it's just easy just to snip off like so. And then the distress ink, did we put it away? We did put the distress ink away, didn't we?
We did.
Being very tidy for a change. Okay, so we've now got these these little mini taglets.
I didn't know how much you wanted, so
I know. So, because we've got lots and lots and lots of this stuff, lots and lots and lots of it, we can afford to be a bit
generous.
Yeah, so we'll whip over and then pull it through.
If it's too short, it's difficult to work with as well.
It is. And then give it a bit of a pull, and then we can always snip off the excess. I think that is probably going to be about enough. So I'll do the same thing again to the others, like so. Really, really easy. Make life easy for yourself. Wasn't there a song by the Walker Brothers? Make it easy on yourself.
Make it easy on yourself.
Yes. And have I just given away my age?
Rather than making yourself easy.
In fact, tell you what, do you want to cut the string?
I'll cut the string.
And I'll go around, I'll get the other pair of scissors. Because, you know, we're a very rich household here. We've got 2 pairs of scissors. Okay. So while you're snipping that bit of string off.
4 there and 1 you've already got. Are we doing 5 or 6?
There's 6 in total.
Okie dokie. 6 pieces of string then.
Yes, he says. I just had to quickly count up and go, is that right? While I'm doing it, do you want to finish off doing the distressing?
Across.
I'm only doing this just to make sure you're awake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you do that, because I know how much you love distressing.
Oh yeah.
And then I'll start threading
Done.
the string. I don't know why I reached for that one over there then, when there was all these closer to hand. I think some of them have already been
distressed.
Yeah. There we go, look at that.
My ladies and gents know that I don't like seeing white edges.
I think it just gives a bit more of a
vintage. It gives that the detail, isn't it?
I'm going to cough. It's this burlap, with this string dust.
There we go. They're all done now. Is that one done?
Yep.
Yep, they're all done.
Yeah, I'm only doing them once you've actually distressed them.
Fair enough, they're all done then.
So do you want to carry on doing those 2 while I'm doing this one? That way we're not...
Are we taking it through the front to tie on?
It really don't matter. It really don't matter. Not one jot.
1 iota. I don't know what an iota is, but that's what they say, isn't it? 1 iota. Sounds like a Japanese car, doesn't it?
I've got a brand new iota. But we did learn last night where the phrase on tenterhooks comes from.
It's when they smoke kippers.
Herring.
To
turn them into kippers. The hook that is used to hang the fish on while it's being smoked.
It's called a tenterhook.
It's called a tenterhook. It
was Mary Berry, wasn't it?
Goddess Mary Berry.
Goddess Mary Berry, yeah.
That's right. she was in our favourite place, Whitby.
She was.
Did you see that? I just stabbed myself with the scissors.
Oh,
It's not safe to be let out.
I'm going to watch this because I can look forward to it.
You are awful.
Thank you.
You hate me really, don't you? I know. Okay, now then, can you just go into my drawer that says 3D foam pads, please, Ian?
I will do, yeah.
And I'm also going to just wake up this little... Is there also in the drawer another one of these stick-it glue pens?
No.
Because this one is... Yeah, there should be another 2 or 3 packs. Try the label maker pen, the label maker drawer.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
You're in the label maker drawer, obviously.
Well, obviously, that's where you keep glue pens.
There you are. Some tabs.
Because inside that label maker drawer is also...
The hot glue gun.
Ta-da! See, there is some kind of logic behind it. So I'm just going to pop a 3D foam pad, a little pop dot, as they are sometimes also known as,
It's working.
on the back of each one of those.
Bentley, stop it! I'm going to open the door so we can have a look.
Okay, because he's still trying to get in that back bedroom where we're decorating.
You can't get on the bed, it's covered in a dust sheet.
He'll try though.
I tell you, it looks beautiful, there's that ceiling, I'm really pleased.
Good stuff. Okay, so we've put a 3D pop dot onto the back of each one. Can we now start to have the cards back?
Yes,
Please.
of course.
And I'm going to put, there you go, all flattened, and I'm going to put
Flattened.
one of these on each of the card fronts, like so. And I'm doing it randomly, I'm not seeing any in particular. The Witching Hour. I've just sat the other night and binged watched, trying to get under the dust sheet. And sat and binge watched the Netflix series The Witcher. I was a bit sceptical at first. I thought it might be a little bit too bloodthirsty for me, but actually it turned out to be pretty good. Because I'm squeamish, but it was okay. Just the right amount. And not too much violence, not too much sex. Just a smattering of each. Okay, so we've now got the little tags on the bottoms. So just to finish off, I'm going to put one little blob of glue in the opposite corner of each one of those, like that. I dread to think what you're doing in there.
Well, it doesn't like the noise of the plastic dust sheet. So.
Alright, so it's come running out, has it?
Yes, what's going on there?
Okay, I've put a blob of glue on the edge of each
Oh,
one.
I forgot about those.
And I'm going to drop on one of these little plastic spiders onto each one of the cards. It's gone downstairs in disgust now.
The creepy and the kooky.
You can't do that.
Okay.
I'll get done for copyright.
Okay. The Deakin family.
We get a copyright strike because you've been singing the Addams Family.
I don't think that.
Yeah, well, you don't be too sure.
Really?
Yeah. There we go.
It just helps to finish it off, doesn't it?
It does. It just adds that little bit of extra yuck.
Extra ew.
Yeah, because of course the PVA will dry clear, but it'll be strong enough to hold the plastic spiders in place. And because we've got those cobwebs up there, which is what I really wanted, you know.
They're really, really cool, Mike.
Yes. So what we need to do now is we just need to leave everything for about quarter of an hour, 10 minutes, quarter of an hour, 20 minutes, just in time to fill up that.
Yes.
And then we'll be back to put the inserts inside.
Ooh, cool.
And now the end is near.
Copyright strike.
You're getting your own back now,
The
aren't you?
music police are coming to get you.
Absolutely. Okay, so to finish off then, we just want to put our little insert in. So I'm just going to lift those out of the way just for the time being. And let's do this one here. So while we're talking, Ian, if you can just hear him in the background there, is just adding some finger lift tape just to the top part of those inserts that I did earlier. Now, if you don't have the capability of doing your own little insert on your computer and you want to put an insert in, all you have to do is just use the same stamp that you used on the front and just stamp across the top, and then just stamp the words Happy Halloween or another
right Happy Halloween,
or Right Happy Halloween indeed. And then just cut it out on an appropriately sized piece of paper, add your tape onto the back and just stick it down. You don't have to glue it completely, you can leave that like I always do as just a loose leaf. As long as it's adhered at the top, it's fine. You've got plenty of space to write your little greeting, your Happy Halloween from your house to ours, whatever, and then pop it in an envelope.
Well, like the black envelope.
Yes, appropriately coloured envelopes. Inexpensive. I got mine from eBay. I just buy them in packs of 100. I buy 100 craft envelopes and 100 black ones. I've also got some cream or ivory coloured ones as well. So all we have to do for those then is just to do exactly the same again. Open it up. Take your insert, line it up, drop it down. Job's a good one. Envelope.
I'm worn out with all this.
Are you taking the finger lift off as well for
Yes,
me?
I am, yeah.
It's very kind of you, thank you.
One does one's best. Bentley's washing his feet, so he's happy.
Nice! Just what we want to hear, that, isn't it?
Everyone wants to know what Bentley's doing. Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Just not quite ready for it yet.
Sorry, a bit speedy there, wasn't I?
I'm just conscious of making sure that the spiders have actually stuck down.
Stuck down,
so.
yes, of course. You don't want them waltzing off, do you?
No. Skittering across the page, that's the last thing you want. Skittering spiders. Sounds like a pop group.
Are Tom Tallylegs spiders?
I think what you're thinking of is a crane fly, what
Yeah.
we call a crane fly.
Tom Tallylegs, my mum used to call them.
Yes. Daddy long legs.
Daddy Longlegs, yeah.
Well, no, the crane flies, the ones with the wings, with the really, really long.
Well, these haven't.
long
These
abdomens.
are Tom Tallylegs. These are like spiders with long legs, but they're not spiders.
Like a little blob of a body.
yeah, and huge legs.
And huge legs, yes. Yeah.
Tom Tallylegs.
Okay, and the last envelope. I've got more than one.
No, you've missed one envelope, have you? The last one you did.
I have missed one envelope, you're quite correct. So let's place that there.
There we are.
And then that one there. And there's all 6 of our batch made cards, which you can do really, really quickly, just using probably bits you've already got in your stash and images.
Should Mal say handle with cauldron?
Yes, handle your cauldron.
Handle your cauldron.
Not caution. Yeah, so fairly quick and easy. Thank you, Notelet Cards, for Halloween. So I hope you've enjoyed watching us put those cards together, even if we did have to change tack halfway through.
Think on your feet, man. Think on your feet.
Absolutely. So if you did enjoy that, please remember to give it a thumbs up, share the video with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. And that's also the end of our 7 Days of Halloween series for this season.
For this season.
And like I said, I hope you've enjoyed watching all 7 of those. That's all from us for now. We'll be back again very, very soon. Bye for now.
For now.
Blooming bad.